Alright, welcome everyone tonight to the Core Racing League. This is GT Season 6 coming at you from Mid-Ohio. I think I might need to turn my mic down just a wee little bit there, but alright. I'm John. We've got, this is week 7 for our GT Season series here. Guys, tonight you're going to have one fast repair. These are fixed iRacing setups. There's 50% fuel in their tanks. They'll get a drive-through after 25x and then each 10x after that. So, looks like we got a little qualifying going on here. There's just a few minutes, about 7 minutes left here. On your provisional poll, let's see if we can't go here to catch James Pierce in that number 238 machine. Getting it a little sideways there. So, yeah, Mid-Ohio is kind of a tight little track here. Let's hop in with the cockpit view here. You can kind of see, yeah, it's a very undulating track. I'm going to have to turn that in-car down just a wee little bit so y'all can hear me. But you see coming over this little section here, over the curb there, just barely touch it. It can upset the prototype cars here. Well, they're not prototypes, I guess, LMP2. My apologies. But we'll start this lap here, coming into turn 1, kind of turn it in, hang on, and hope she holds. Use all the exit there. As Chris Hamilton says, you paid for the track, you may as well use it. You know, and I never have found the good line through this corner here, but you want to get that exit speed up as you get a nice long run down here. But looks like he is already through. Let's check in with Mason Smith here in the Porsche. You see him coming around. Nickerson had a fast time right now of a 121.7. I guess that was Mason's last one. We got David here. You can see he's in the Porsche. Go back out here. As he says, pow, on the front of that 992 GT3. And we will turn them back up here a little bit. See if we can get this volume level just right. Oh, Barry trying to watch too many CRN streams at once. Nice job. I got a few of y'all in the chat here tonight. So, tried to drop the resolution down a little bit, so hopefully we won't have any funky little issue, so hopefully it still looks good, not being in 4K. We just dropped down to 1440. But as you see, Tilford here using all of the track, managing right now to be in 5th place with Mason Smith, Kelly Porter, and Tim Ponzi ahead of him. Ponzi's really been putting in some effort, and so has Kelly this last season here. Is Ponzi, you know, he is already off the track here. Looks like everybody has gotten their laps in. We're going to have a few minutes. The noise that Ferrari makes, you know. If they just didn't make it ugly, putting the headlights where they did in the center. But yeah, the Ferrari just doesn't have that famous Italian screen that you kind of want and expect these days out of something. It's kind of like F1 cars nowadays. They're just not quite what we remember. But looking through here as we go through, let's put a little bit of can we do this here? No, we'll just do... There we go. Kind of show you real quick what everybody's I ratings look like here that are running with us tonight. You've got over in LMP2, looks like the guy with the highest is Parks Dela Cruz, 3.3 there. James, I don't think a 2.5 for you is quite representative of the skill level. We go on through Nickerson with a 3.4, Ponzi 2.3, Mason with a 3.5, and Tim Thompson getting all the way up to 6th there, you know. It's a good showing for Tim, beating out Audi, Craig, James, and John Crane. It's a little bit of a smaller field tonight. I know a few of the guys have had some other commitments and weren't able to make it tonight. Let's check over here on Discord. Make sure I'm not missing anything in the GT series discussion that's important. Yes, Tyler Coconut is looks like he is looking at a airplane, and Chris is, well, at work. Sorry, Chris. Let's see. Barry says he's going with Tim Ponzi. Not a bad choice, Barry. So let's see. Let's pull up. We don't have that. It's the red spike wanted to be silly again. Let me see if this will be a little funky, but I believe I can make something work. Let's see what the points are looking like for this series while we wait for them to finish this last little bit here. Standings for the GT series. It's trying to do its thing. Yeah, Tilford, I think you broke it. Nope, it came up. Yeah, that 6-second delay was up to about 40. So looking like currently overall leader is James Pierce in LMP2 with 211 points. Parks de la Cruz is only 1 point behind him, however. And then when we go down in here, silver division still being led by Tyler Kakeko. Platinum and gold is the same as the overall. Bronze, Tyler Bramble ahead of Derek Booker by 37 points. Going over to GT3, your overall is Nick Nickerson with 198 points. Tim Fonzie close on his heels there, 14 points back. Mason Smith, 36 points back. And platinum, you have, and gold, you have Tim Ponzi with the lead as Nick Nickerson is leading the silver division. So I think after this season, Nick will finally have that gold division. He's had some bad luck in our road series before. Kelly Pointer in second in silver, Mason Smith second in gold, Dave Tilford rounding out your top three in gold, and then Abi Visuvasam is third in silver. In the bronze division, we have James Molyneux with the lead with 70 points, John Crane 7 behind him, and Tim Thompson 30 back from there. So unfortunately, the graphic, when I was trying to get everything scraped earlier, did not happen to come in time. But, why? I'm going to have to go back to using the old overlay. Because this one wants to be a little silly. Hopefully this is a little better sized. James Pierce on your pole with a 113.5. Parks de la Cruz about 4/10 off that in second. Oh, wait, no. Tyler is here tonight. I guess he just randomly posted pictures of planes. So Tyler half a second back there in third. Thaddeus Marshall in fourth. And because of this particular camera view, yep, 9/10 of a second off a pole there. Powell Casca in fifth and Tyler Bramble in sixth. We'll swap over to... You gonna play nice? That's going to have Nick Nickerson in pole position there with a 121.7. Tim Ponzi right about 2/10 back in second. Kelly Pointer just a smidgen behind that in third. Mason Smith just a smidgen behind. We are getting ready to go green here. This was a short grid there. As you see the teammates of Parks and James side by side going into this corner here. Not a corner I'd want to be too wide in. Looks like, Parks getting a little sideways. Thaddeus Marshall sending it to the outside of Tyler Kakeko. So already here in LMP2, got a little bit of action going on. So these cameras, it seems like we're getting just a little bit of inconsistency with the volume levels, according to OBS. It looks like your order now: James Pierce, Parks de la Cruz, Thaddeus Marshall, and then Tyler Kakeko with Powell Casca and Tyler Bramble coming in behind that. Let's check over here and see what it looks like in GT3. Speaking of which, where is Oh, a little track map up there. You can kind of see where some of these guys are. Looks like James Molyneux, a little off the pace. Showing a crash for James Pierce here. I don't know about a crash, but a little Tuxedo drift there. James Bull is that left rear tire getting. You can see your GT3 is Nickerson, Ponzi, and Pointer. Yeah. You know, followed up there, Mason Smith and Dave Tilford, not very far off here. See Kelly. Kind of get everybody in these little two-car groups. Oh. Who is that? What? Tim Thompson was off the track there. Let's see what happened here. Oh, just came in a little too hot. Oh, you know, that's qualifying so well and already letting it go like that. Huh. Oh, that's the one. That's why we do that. It would help to be in our broadcast room, even though I don't have anybody with me, but that way I can do this.
Emotional damage!
There we go. I wondered why my thing wasn't working. So, let's go back over here. Let's go back live. Let me pull this up. And looks like James Pierce has already gotten starting to. Is he going to be able to close the gap to Powell Casca here? It looks like he will. Although your close one here on track is going to be Tyler Kukeko on the back door of Thaddeus Marshall. Yo, Canadian internet having some issues. Getting a few little drops here and there out of Tyler. Alright, let's see who else do we got here. Looks like maybe Mason Smith down here in GT3. Got on the back door, Kelly Pointer, not letting Kelly really get away from him. Got it about 6/10. But looks like a Beavis awesome. Can't tell if he was getting ready to make a move there on Craig Pop. Nope. Interesting paint job for a B there. 75 was the Cuss paint job. Alright. Goose, whatever. As we see the Craig Potter in the Merc. A little change up normally in the Ferrari. I'm guessing with some of the downhill sweepers. Not seeing too many Ferrari takers tonight. Actually only one, and that is Kelly Pointer. Of course, I jumped to him having a little bit of blinky. Yeah, Barry James is definitely a hard candidate to beat, but as we see here, James has pulled up to the back door of Powell Casca here. See, Mid-Ohio, you know, with all the undulations and everything else, especially in these downforce cars, it's not going to be easy for him to get around someone like Powell. I mean, even if you have a half a second of pace, it's not a track where there's, you know, these big braking zones to just send it in on him. As we will go here and grab. Find it here. Probably go with right front here. No, maybe the left front. As you can see, this is your one major braking zone, and that is how James Pierce gets around Powell Casca. So 2 more seconds up the road, he'll find Tyler Kukeko and Thaddeus Marshall. You know, these two kind of having their own battle here. Tyler getting that gap down to about 2 or 3/10 of a second. Currently with your last lap being the fastest out of Parks de la Cruz with a 1:13.9. So, you know, Parks is out front making some hay, got 2.7 seconds over Thad. Yeah, and Powell, sorry, Parks is one of those. He's not going to put a foot wrong. He's going to keep it on the track, do what he needs to do, and likely walk away unless James can find a lot of pace and run him down quickly. But James has already closed that gap down to 1.5 seconds. Probably see a fast lap out of James this lap. 113.75, and he still made the pass on Powell for that one. So James is putting the hammer down. But we will kind of watch these guys here, although looks like real quick Mason getting ready to maybe make a move here on Kelly. Rexy gonna take a bite. As they would go down into this, see if Mason thinking about sticking a nose in there. As you can see, a gap now to Dave Tilford, and then Craig Potter and Abhi Visubasan back here. As there you go, James is just now breaking into that 1 second range. A man on a mission. Looks like these guys thinking here. Let's show some weather. Track temp is up at 92, so not a horrible Carl track temp. But I know if you try driving, overdriving these LMP2s, they will destroy the front tires in short order. So that little bit of traffic, is that going to help or hurt James? Kind of has him offline a little bit into this braking section here. But now has that gap down to about 0.6, it looks like. We can see over here on our track map, Nickerson has managed to get himself a 1.6 second lead over Tim Ponzi. As we see Mason kicking up some dust there on the exit of turn 1. But this is definitely quickly becoming the Porsche show. The new Porsche 992 is just, it's such a dream to drive. So I imagine, you know, there's a track where you can use its little hanging rear to great effect. The Ponzi here in that number 46 machine. As we are 9 minutes into this 45-minute race. So, well, should only be one, maybe 2 fuel stops for the LMPs. With that small, tiny tank they have. I didn't get a chance to talk to the guys before this one to see exactly what they would get, but let's see. Well, the stream is stuttering. That's weird. Alright, I'm gonna try something, guys. Give me just... Alright, it should have just popped right back up there. Let's see if that fixes the frame stuttering issue. I was hoping dropping the resolution would fix that, but apparently not. Huh. Everything appears to be running fine now. Alright, we missed it here. In a second, we will go back and see what this action wound up looking like on track. As trying to, all these cameras are seeming a little too close for comfort. see. Oh, they come through here. Watch them coming through turn 1 here. Ooh, getting on the curb there a little bit. And coming up to the keyhole here. You can see Tyler Keiko and then James and then Thad. Watch them come down the back straight here. Really is quite a long back straight. We got them coming here through turns 4 and 5. They then come up here to the S's. As they wind their way through the final corner here. It's camera right there. You can see James all over the back of that. We will get back into this TV1 camera to see what exactly is going on now. Does Tyler have enough pace to hold off James? Because James has come back from 6th position back up to 3rd. Looking for that 2nd position now. Let's see here. Alright. Let's look back through here. Looks like Mason Smith is getting onto the back of Kelly Porter here. Right ahead of these guys. So this battle and their battle, it will be interesting to see who comes out on top of both of these. Do the LMPs cost Kelly a spot? Does their battle cost Tyler a spot? Someone's going to lose out here, more than likely. Who's it going to be? As Mason's going to look to the outside of Kelly Porter here. Hang it all around, Rexy. But decides to tuck back in here for the exit. Whoa, a little wide there, Mason. Doing a little dirt tracking. All right. Mason's kind of right there. Let's check back in here with James and company. Nose to tail going around. Looking to get around Tim Ponzi now. And James sending it around the outside of Tyler. That's what happens if you get the GT3 at the wrong spot. So that has promoted James up to 2nd place. Parks with a 7-second lead now over James. So let's see. With James, once he gets past Nickerson here, we will see how quickly he might be able to either close that gap down or if that gap will just sit there. Because at this point, oh, Thaddeus Marshall having a little drama incident here. Let's go back to that. Turns in. Up, gets up on the curb, upsets the arrow, and sideways she goes. Steaming hot tires now, and he'll get it back going. Looks like he's going to stay ahead of Bramble there, coming into the keyhole. All right. So now that James has some free air, 7 seconds is the gap. We will keep an eye on that. Lap 13, see how much longer he goes. Showing that John Crane entered the pits here. Not quite sure why I'm not seeing any damage. Maybe he thinks a short pit may help him. Oh wait, I think I saw a little bit of was that rear wing damage? Maybe he just took the little bit of fuel he needed early. Oh, okay, that's where Powell got by there. SDK giving me a little bit of a delay there on their information. James already taken, within a lap, about a half a second there out of Powell. Going back here, you see Mason has dropped about almost a second off of the back of Kelly Pointer there. So we're going to do a quick little love to hear it as James Pierce has just kicked in 1:13.5 hot time. So he is definitely headed for Parks. So we'll do a little love to hear it.
Thank you, John.
Alright, as we were back, sorry for having to bring up the iRacing overlay. I forgot to disable the chat there. So, looking back through the field here, seeing what is happening. You still have Mason here, and there we go. Yeah, that Porsche and the Ferrari, they're going at it. Mason, again, going wide out of the keyhole. Trying to get every little bit here. Showing an accident here for Tim Thompson that we missed. Let's see, it's going to be, got on the brakes. Was on the rumble strips and just a slow slide, but keeps it off the wall, it appears. He does. It's a good recovery there, Tim. Should just be a loss of control on an off track, so it could have been a lot worse. As Powell Casca and Thaddeus Marshall are still on track. And as you see here, James Pierce jumping Parks de la Cruz in the pit phase there, both coming out of pit lane. Looking at it, looks like Parks 24 seconds, James 18. So 6 seconds taking that, I'm guessing a difference in tires possibly. 90-degree track temp, so maybe that's something that works out for Parks over James, but we will have to keep an eye on that. Ooh. You see Parks de la Cruz wanting to get around the 94 of James Molyneux there. Does not want to let James run away with it. As you see now, Thaddeus Marshall into the pits. But yeah, James definitely taking a little shorter pit time, 18.6 seconds, versus the 24 seconds for Parks and everyone else, it appears, at this point. So I do have to wonder. Sorry, guys, I cannot bring up the... well, I can show you all the problem. My pit strategy thing down here is in this little thing, and I keep trying to mess with the SDK. And with this particular theme, it is not happy about when I try to make it any larger. So, we will go up here and look at the dashboard, see what kind of speeds these guys are reaching around the track here. As you can see, your GT3 leader is still Nick Nickerson. Followed by Tim Ponzi. He managed to get just about a 2-second gap there. Kelly about 6 seconds back from there, and Mason Smith. The Mason and Kelly battle, your tightest battle all night. Never really bigger than a second, and been down to 0.2, 0.4. But, Ferrari being chased by not Roxy, Rexy there. We'll go back through here. Dave Tilford kind of running around in no man's land, about 15 seconds back off the back of Mason Smith there. I know when we were testing this combo earlier for the season, it is not an easy track. I mean, it looks easy, but definitely one of those that if you're not curious, it's real easy to overdrive it. And it's one of those you can make the little mistakes and be okay, but there's a handful of spots where if you go just a little too far over, the second you touch the grass, you're going to be in the wall. There's not much you can do about them. Checking with Beavis Awesome here. Abby just running that Porsche like he knows how to do. Definitely putting in a good showing tonight. About 3.8 seconds back off the back of Craig Potter. As Craig and that Merc Gaji during the love to hear it. Hope you all enjoyed the thunderous V8 AMG power plant in that thing. It does sound so good. Let's see. So at the moment, everybody's kind of spread out from each other. You can kind of see on the track map, you know, here, other than the Mason and Kelly show they are putting on tonight for us, as we are past the halfway at the mark at this point. And something in my ears. And I think it's saying that Tyler Bramwell going off track a little bit there. Yep. And also, Beavis of Awesome has been into the pits. As we have Dave Tilford coming into the pits here. Let's see. Tilford at least taking a couple tires. They got the car up on jack stands. Craig Potter taking that there. As we see where a B is coming into the last complex here. Will Audi be able to jump Craig Potter here? Sounds like Audi got into the guardrail a little bit there. I'm not seeing any scratch marks on the side of that Porsche. But Audi, you can tell, is pushing hard, hoping to get it in the pit phase here. As he comes around. Yep, showing Craig is out of the pits now. Looking in here, at their time difference, Craig taking 10.5 seconds in the stop and a B taking 12.6. And yep. So Avi not able to close that gap down in the things there. So as we watch the closest battle here on track, Mason and Kelly Pointer going at it. As out here in front of the GT3 lead, Nick Nickerson not really putting a foot wrong at all tonight. You know, kind of just hit the ground running, putting in your pole sitter, just, you know, kind of putting in, what's the best way to call this? A Verstappen-esque performance, you know, as much as you can expect of one, as James Pierce now has a 5.6 second lead over second place Parks Dela Cruz. Let's pull up our lap times. See the last 4 laps here. As you can see, Parks was slowly closing that gap in, although lost 1.1 second on that last one there. Well, it appears that is going to be related to him getting through some lap GT3 traffic. So, as we go back to the field, I was showing. Let's see here, showing that Mason. Sent it onto the inside of this one. Compromised the exit. Kelly able to keep the hammer down. Gets a little bit back. But into the braking again. Mason is probably going to sneak past for a split second. Just not enough to hold the outside there. So, guys, in case you were thinking Mason's just chilling back there trying to save some fuel or something, not the case tonight. Kelly giving him all that he can handle here. We have Nickerson in the pit lane here. And that has promoted Tim Ponzi to the lead of this race here. Mason and Kelly both staying out. Let's see here. Nickerson back onto the track. How far behind? Looks like 15 seconds behind Mason Smith. It's a little bit of a gap, so he's not right on his back bumper. But we have Dave Tilford here, who pitted a few laps back. You know, another 34 seconds behind Nick Nickerson. And check in here. So Parks de la Cruz losing 1.1 seconds on lap 23, gaining 1.5 back and kind of tying for lap 25. Has that gap currently at 4.1. We'll have to see if Parks took an extra tire, if that is, you know, in these last 12 minutes going to make a difference or not. As right here we have Tim Ponzi in pit lane, Kelly Pointer and Mason Smith. As Nickerson is coming up to the back here. Is Ponzi going to be able to do something in the pits? Pull out some sort of miracle here. So he is leaving the pit lane. He is going to be... Whoa! Tyler Keiko coming in the middle of that, but that has put Ponzi right back onto the gearbox of Nick Nickerson. Looking here at their pit times, 11.6 for Nickerson, 11.0 for Ponzi. So I think that was just better lap traffic and whatnot getting into the pits, as that has put Ponzi back within a second of Nickerson. As it appears in that pit phase, Mason got ahead of Kelly Pointer. Mason 10.7, Kelly 11.77. So I have to wonder, with Mason being behind Kelly for so long, was he able to lift and coast a little bit here and there so he could just take a little less fuel at the pit stop than Kelly? Currently, that puts Mason in third position, so we should be able to ask Mason during the interviews if that was the case. So Tyler Keiko here in third place. How is he doing? Just kind of running, let's see, 14 seconds back behind Parks de la Cruz. And then Powell Casca a little while back, and then Thaddeus Marshall a little further back than that. After having a couple self-spins. Oh! Showing that Craig Potter went off track here. What happened to him? Ooh. Into the kitty litter almost. Craig, make sure you keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. Check back in here with Abhi Vishwasam, running in 7th in GT3. Gotten that gap down to 6.8 seconds on Craig. Let's look at some last lap times here, see if he's making progress. And yes, in fact, it looks like every kind of lap here he's taking a 10th or 2 out. I don't think that little small pace difference will be enough to get back up to Craig, but you know, if Craig has a couple more mistakes like that, you know, we might see Abhi here back into it. And Ponzi into the pits again. Is this a drive-through or a hole? Did he not take enough fuel? What is going on for Tim Ponzi here? As it appears, I'm guessing he got a speeding in the pits or something related to that, as he has now been in there 26 seconds, longer than anyone else. And I think by the time we see the end of this, it'll be about 6 more seconds, and it will say a 40-second pit time. Because that's got to be serving a black. 48.28 seconds. That is going to hurt Tim Ponzi there, because that is hard to come back from. So that has promoted a B up to 6th place. Will Ponzi have enough time in these last 7 minutes or so to get to make up 4.3 seconds on Audi, and then any time to maybe get 5th back from Craig Potter? We will have to keep an eye. And Thaddeus Marshall back into the pits again. Knowing that Thad went off track here, let's see. Ooh, yep, back in just a little slide. Check back in with your LMP2 leader is James Pierce. Kind of running around here, but Kelly Pointer is back onto the back of Mason Smith after that pit cycle. So Kelly not giving up that 3rd place position that he had. Well, now it's 2nd. Kelly going for 2nd here. Already been promoted up to the podium after the incident out of Tim Ponzi. Just curious, if we were to do an iRacing gain or loss, it looks like your biggest winner would be James Pierce up 72. The biggest loser would currently wind up being Thaddeus Marshall, losing 80 over in the GT3 side. Kelly Pointer would be picking up 46, while Tim Ponzi would be losing 49. But we don't have that here. We have core rating. And to answer that question, you'd have to ask Dave Tilford. I'm not good enough to do those numbers off the top of my head. As you can see, Ponzi has already gotten back to within a second of a B. As we are closing down with just under 5 minutes left in this race. Yeah, Barry, I imagine Ponzi's probably not too happy with himself after that one. I've run a endurance race with Tim before, and he's one of those. He doesn't get too emotional, but he might have a little different there as we see him get around B Visuvasam to take 6th place back there. As we can kind of see, last lap taking 2.1 seconds off of Potter. So if these guys are running lap times in the 122 range, if he gets 4 more, even at 2 seconds a lap, I don't think that's going to be enough to get back up to Craig. So Tim is going to have to be hoping for a little bit of a issue on Potter's part, maybe a disconnection or something, as we will jump back over here to yet again the closest battle all night. Kelly Pointer and Mason Smith. And right behind them, they have the leader of LMP2 wanting to go around, but unfortunately not finding a good spot here. And that is going to put him in between the fight here. Going to cost Kelly a little bit of time, it looks like. Well, that entry cost Mason a little bit. But Mason will have a little bit of a draft for a very short amount of time off that LMP2. All right. So let's see here. Looking back through the field, the closest other battle we have is going to be for Powell Casca and Tyler Kukeko. Oh no. Showing Craig Potter going off track here. Oh. Well, you know, Tim, I said you're going to need some help from Craig, but looks like Craig was willing to oblige that request. And that is showing you now one. Am I reading that right? Interval. What? There we go. Oh, excuse me. Yep. And that little mistake has gotten Tim Ponzi up to 1.1 seconds behind Craig Potter. Now that is just under a second. So coming back to a top 5 after having to make an extra pit stop is currently showing that James Molyneux, Ponzi, and Thaddeus Marshall, the only ones that had to make that second stop, as we have a little over a minute to go here. As Ponzi is going to... Oh, no! Craig getting on the brakes a little harder than I think Ponzi expected. And that sent that Porsche right around. We're going to have to go back and look at that. Look at this from the point of Ponzi here. Where is that cockpit? As you can see, kind of how close, and kind of went to look for the move. Yep. Got on the brakes, nothing he could really do. Oh. Silly thing. So we see Bramble right there. Showing... No. Sorry, Ponzi, didn't mean to keep showing that. Just a little off track for James Pierce there, and then another little one. So you can tell he is pushing hard. He's gotten that gap out to 9.1. Oh no, showing a crash for Thaddeus Marshall here. What happened? Coming into this one. Oh, gets on too much throttle there over the top of the hill. The rear end unloads and he goes sideways. Showing a checkered flag now for... Come on. Cooperate. Thaddeus Marshall, or sorry, James Pierce taking your lead there. That will be Parks Dela Cruz coming in second. Tyler Kukeko, he can hold off Powell here and not get into the back of Mason there. Good job, Tyler. Looking over in our GT3 field, it looks like Nick Nickerson taking it over the win. Mason Smith able to hold off Kelly Pointer for third. Dave Tilford up into fourth after Ponzi, he is now down into last position there in 10th. So get these top 3 to our waiting room. As we will, let's see here. I think we will. Oh, we pull Kelly Pointer in here first. Kelly, this is John up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on, buddy?
So definitely you and Mason, the closest battle all night. Y'all never really had more than a second between you.
No,
So do you know what Mason did to jump you in the pit there?
no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I took 6.1 gallons. I think it's the plus one maybe that went in. Maybe I did get tires left sides, but I mean everyone else did too. And he just was able to jump me. But
Yeah,
yeah, that end thing right there where I got ran into. I was 0x all the way to the last corner.
you there, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it just kind of cut out. Did
Oh,
looks like I was just kind of watching that. I'm guessing the LMP2 of Tyler got into you.
no, is whoever dove bomb him. It looked like they went three wide through that area that really there is no passing unless it's side by side, and went into that little kink off of that little back straight and crashed into looked like Tyler, then took me out, or didn't take me out, but crashed me and gave me 4x. So I was doing perfect till then.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it come up here. It looks like it was it's 221. Oh, Powell Casca. Yeah, I think he was looking to snatch something out of that one, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you just can't do that.
No, not what you want to see. But otherwise, the battle between you and Mason was just. It made tonight interesting to watch for sure because we kept going back. You got plenty of TV time.
Nice, nice. So
So
what happened to the guy? The
Ponzi,
guy? Yeah, what happened to him?
uh, what he had to make an extra pit stop and was coming back through the field and got into the back of Craig Potter going into one. I think Craig broke
Uh,
a little earlier than he was expecting, considering it was I think Tim was almost 2.5 to 3 seconds a lap faster. So
okay.
you one of those you hate to see it, but it's
Yeah.
that's why we go
It was
racing. You
fast,
never know.
definitely fast. He had some speed, that's for sure.
All right. The anybody want to give a shout out to on that 75 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, sure do. I want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast and putting on the leagues. If anybody's looking to get into an iRacing league, this is an awesome league. It's usually pretty darn clean, at least the driving is. And thank my wife for allowing me to do this. My wife Monique, it was her birthday yesterday. She's 24. And Pointers Motor Supplies. If you need any AMSOIL, give me a call. My phone number's on the website at pointersmotorsupplies.com. And Dan Phelps for crew chiefing for me all night, every night.
It's always interesting to see Dan and them be like, "Oh, is Dan going to run GT?" Oh wait, no, crew chief.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Dan for
Appreciate
helping you run a good race tonight, and you we'll hopefully see you next week.
it. Gosh, all right, you will. Take care.
All right, that was third place. Kelly Pointer. We will bring Mason. Mason, this is
Thank
John in the booth. You get a copy.
Yes, I got a copy.
So, what did you do that was 1 second quicker in the pits than Kelly?
Well, to be really honest, I think it was like that little, rear engine acceleration that the Porsche had. It's just, I always glaze the car, and I will always glaze the Porsche. It's just it was better at acceleration, it was better at braking and cornering. It's just I feel like the car has like very, very little weaknesses.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like you were all over the back bumper, but Mid Ohio being one of those tracks, it's just really hard to get around someone here. And it definitely looked like that was the case for you and Kelly tonight.
Yeah, it was. Kelly had a heck of a battle, and to be honest, he is hard to pass, and I don't blame him. Defending defending from one spot and trying to attack. It's like you said, it's really hard to do it around here, and it's yeah. So pit cycle was the best I got. got him, and that's what got me into second tonight.
Yeah, it looked like at one point he was going to take it back from you there when the LMP2s got right up on y'all, but luckily it looked like you managed to skip through that one and get a little bit of a gap to him. So upper class traffic giving a little bit of a hand tonight.
Yeah, definitely on that last lap there where Tyler and Powell were battling. It was, yeah, it just played into my favor tonight on like the second half, and yeah, luckily I was able to get it done the second and see if I could try to get first next week.
Well, let's see. Next week we are coming to. Where is next week? Next week is. No, wait, that's Xfinity. That's not what we're looking for. That Most Sport. Oof, yeah, yeah. That's a good track. I enjoy it. So I know Nick is quick there too. So that should be a fun battle.
Yeah, I think it's what I like to describe is it's like a roller coaster track, you know, the two S's in the beginning, or I think three, but it's just it looks and drives like a roller coaster. So I think there's going to be like more than I say two battles there, probably like stick together, probably with me, Kelly, Tim, and Nick and Chris. I don't think we'll be getting away from each other from Mosport anytime, because yeah, it's a roller coaster track, and I think yeah, just trying to get the best amount of braking, the best amount of apexing, and I think yeah, just best amount of corner speed.
Yeah, it's how brave can you be into the braking for? Is it Moss Corner, the little double right at the where it goes up the hill?
Correct.
So I know with the Porsche, it's one of those. If you overstep the line just a little bit, you're gonna have an off track.
Yeah. Um, I think that's the one. I think you brought that up, and I think it might be the car that's not worth running, but I haven't tested it, so I I may not be right. It probably might be the best car, but hey, we have to see next week.
I know Tyler ran the BMW, and I was in the Porsche there, and he managed to run me down in the end. So the old BMW might be something to look at for you.
Uh, yeah, I will, and I'll pretty much test all of them. Yeah, if it means that just to find the best car and the best pace.
Well, congratulations tonight. You get anybody you need to give a shout out to?
Well, of course, to the family that always watches and on the broadcast, and to you in the booth, and to the racers. And I want to give props to Kelly because I know I have really fun battling him, and I think he's just only getting better, and I have to work even more harder.
Yeah, he's definitely last season was started out, and I know I was able to stay ahead of him, and then about halfway through the season we had a few battles, and then by the time we got to Le Mans, he was definitely faster. So the man is puts in the practice and the effort, so you can't be nothing but happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, congratulations, and hopefully we'll catch you next week at Mosport.
See you next week.
Yeah. All right, bring our GT3 winner, Nick Nickerson. You got a copy?
How's it going, man?
Well, it looks like you were one of the few ones tonight that had no drama. Nothing kind of really seemed to go wrong for you, and nobody was able to challenge you for pace there.
Well, I mean, don't think it's quite easy. Tim was hot on my tail, and we were kind of trading blows from traffic there with GTP. I would get a little lead, and then I would lose it, and he would, just kind of back and forth. And then unfortunately, I got stuck behind like a slower car going into the pit, so I lost like just a ton of time. And we were gonna come out basically like, well, we did come out like pretty much nose to tail but there was also a GTP that had to kind of thread us through that turn one when I was going to turn one and Tim was coming out of the pits, and it got a little hairy. But it would have been a great race that last 12 minutes or whatever if Tim didn't get a black flag. Kind of sucks for him, but so happens when you're trying to get every last little tenth of a second, you know?
Yeah, I guess he came off the limiter a little early trying to get a
Yeah,
run.
that's what it sounds like.
Oh, that's never easy to deal with. Looking forward to Mosport next week.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's this car isn't particularly, it's pretty dang loose car, so we'll see. Hopefully, I can hold this thing in a straight line going down those downhill S's. Because I remember last year, this thing would just flip on you instantly as soon as you started going down those little S turns or whatever. So, I mean, if I can drive the car, I'm looking forward to it. We'll just have to see.
Well, we remember one thing, and that's don't drive the Ferrari GTE at
Yeah,
Mosport.
that's right. God, that car was crap, but
yeah, it was.
times.
But, congratulations on the win tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 2 machine?
Just Carl and all the admins and everybody that participates in this league makes it what it is, and I appreciate you, John, doing the broadcast.
Not a problem. Unfortunately, you didn't get quite as much screen time tonight, just being there out in the lead, but you did get some. So, congratulations, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, man. Take care.
That was our winner for GT3, Nick Nickerson. We'll pull in third place, which would be Tyler Kokeko here. Tyler, this is John in the booth. You got a copy? You there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, it broke up there for a second. I guess it's at even worse Canadian internet.
Hey, I have faster internet, but it's wireless now. It's not wired.
So, did you expect to be able to pull a third out of that one, or?
No. I was settling for fourth. It was a pretty chaotic all race. I know Thad and I ended up banging doors a few times, and then he kind of, I don't know what happened to him, but then towards the end, I was just holding Powell off, and I thought I lost it. I don't know if you caught it on the replay. And the final lap in like the third last corner, it was chaos.
Was that when you split Kelly with
Yeah.
Powell there? Yeah, that's on screen right now, just oddly enough.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, that was terrifying. And we talked about it afterwards. Powell says he was at fault. I say that was a 50-50 because it looked like he wasn't going to make it, but I came in and then Kelly got the short end of the stick there.
Yeah, Kelly was apparently 0x before that, so.
Yeah.
But, all in all, was tire wear really bad tonight for those LMPs?
So in practice we thought it was. I took tires at my pit stop, but they were down to 80%, so I probably could have gotten away without tires. But it didn't really seem to matter in the end. I went in third, finished third.
Yeah, even though it looked like Thad didn't Thad take the lead or the third from you? The first 2 turns?
Yeah, he got it from me, and then traffic was terrible. Like you just had to sit and wait because like the lines the GT3s had to take, you had to get a really sketchy move around the outside of the inside, and I was not about to do that until Kelly.
Well. So I know next week is the one you're really looking forward to. Are you going to be able to make it?
Yes, I can make next week. I missed the 2 weeks after. I'm going to be practicing. I'm off till March 5th, so I'm going to be practicing as much as I can for that.
Well, at least this time I don't have to worry about you running me down at Motorsport. So.
I just got to try to run James down.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that my just track knowledge and the amount of laps I've done gives me something over him.
Yeah, I think James has a few laps there too, probably by this point in time.
Oh, he does. It'll be a good show.
Congratulations on third place. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 35 machine? Or sorry, 37. I was looking at Parks for a second.
Me and Parks. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to you in the booth and like Cora and Carl for hosting all these. A shout out to Powell for really keeping me clean that whole race, pushing me, and Cody Jacobs, who I know watches a lot of these races.
Yeah, that unfortunately Cody doesn't watch them during the thing, or if he does, he doesn't
No,
chat.
no, he usually doesn't chatter. He'll watch them after.
Well, again, congratulations, and hopefully we will catch you next week.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you.
All right. All right, that was Tyler Kakeko in third. We're going to bring our second place Parks Dela Cruz in here. Parks, you got a copy.
Hi, John.
So, after James's little whoopsie, looked like you were off to the races there. Did you expect him to just absolutely destroy you in the pit phase?
Well, actually, in the pit stop, he didn't take tires, but I did because I was pretty sure that tire degradation was going to be pretty bad, which apparently it wasn't for some reason, even though it was in practice. So I'm not sure what that is about. But yeah, when I had the lead, I was like, I gotta try my hardest to try and keep it up here. And well, I was so, and I noticed that even before the pits, that James was like 3 seconds behind me. So I was like, well, tried my best out here.
I mean, he only took it from what? So you were 3 seconds ahead to leading you by 9 seconds at the end.
Yeah.
It's James. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I tried my hardest. I really did, but it's really hard to hit your marks on this track. Like good lord.
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
Thad put some tires off track. Uncharacteristically, saw Mason putting a few tires off track on the exit of Keyhole.
oh, really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
multiple times
Oh my
behind
god.
Kelly. I'm not sure if that was aero wash or just a little bit of frustration seeping in, but overall, it looked like all the passes on the GT3s were pretty clean tonight.
Uh, yeah, thank God, because like when I was doing hot laps around here, I was like, man, this will suck for traffic, which it did, but we all managed it pretty well, luckily.
It looked like it adopted the either I'm going to pass you on the back straight, the front straight, or I'm going to just wait.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of the time you just had to wait because the corners flowed right into each other. So if you tried to cross over in the middle of the corner, especially in sector 3, it just wouldn't end well for anyone.
Yeah, and there's no like other than Keyhole and the one at the end of the back straight. There's no major braking sections where you can
Yeah,
really leverage the downforce.
no, not really at all.
So next week being most sport, are you looking forward to it?
Uh, I've uh, I've done pretty well historically at most sport. So for the first time in like 3 weeks or something, I'm actually looking forward to next week.
Well, you're gonna have a little bit of a problem with your teammate there at Tyler Kakeko. You know, I don't think anyone has a love affair with a track more than he does in most sport.
Well, yeah, I'll be keeping a lookout for him on the timing sheets.
Start Garage 61 stalking those
Oh
laps.
yes. Well, I mean, we already do to each other already right now, so.
Well, all right. Well, before we let you go celebrate, anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 35 machine?
Shout out to James Pierce, man. Crazy recovery. Went from like a billion seconds back to 9 seconds ahead at the end. Shout out to also Paul Casca, who like improved over the course of the 2 hours of driving. To be able to fight Tyler Kakeko at the end. And also shout out to 2 and 2 Racing.
Well, again, congratulations on the second. I don't think, or did you have a 100% clean race?
That's correct.
Ooh, that's gonna be. You gotta have to check with David on the points there. That should be pretty close then.
Sure will.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll catch you again next week.
Of course. Thank you very much.
All right. There was second place, Marcus Dela Cruz. We're gonna bring James Pierce, our winner in LMP2 here. James, you got a copy?
Hello.
So, did you just want to do the last to first challenge?
I wasn't planning on it, but my force feedback cutting out a couple way through the corners, and then the having my seat slide back, I couldn't reach the wheel on that spin, so that was fun. I felt like I was 5 years old again trying to reach for the steering wheel.
Oh, we have this motto here at Core: "It sucks to suck," but that one, I've never heard of somebody having their sim seat slide back. Or you're not on a motion rig, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
just I have it on rollers, and I was like, oh shit. I couldn't reach the wheels. Got my tippy toes on the brake pedal. Got about 10% going while spinning.
Oh god. So you passed Parks in the pit phase by not taking tires. Did you know that you were going to be okay not taking tires, or was that just a gamble of I need to get a few seconds back quickly?
I was like, I mean, either way, track position was probably the most important thing here. So even if I had broke tires, I think it would have been fine. Because the way the way it's gonna roll out with that. But I mean, I realized that you probably shouldn't take tires here. So if Parks does, then I was gonna jump him, and if he didn't, then I was gonna be pretty close because I came in with him. But I kind of realized that the tires would probably take longer than the fuel because we only fueled up basically another 30 gallons, so wasn't much to fill up, and kind of sit there for I think about 4 seconds is what I did roughly in my head. So it was kind of a calculated little strat call on that one. So
Yeah, the difference between you and Parks, your pit time was 18.6 to 24.6.
yeah,
So about 6 seconds.
yeah, I had a feeling it was gonna be at least 4 to 6 seconds. I was gonna probably gain if he took tires. So it's a good gamble on that one.
Well, congratulations on the win. You looking forward to Motorsport next week?
Last time I drove it, it was not bad, competing in a GT3 league, and was competing pretty well in there. I don't think the last time I drove like a high downforce thing there was probably the Dallara IR18, which that was back when I think I was at the top of my game. So hopefully that carries over. It's been a while since I've driven there though. But I think the last thing I drove in was at the Porsche GT3, which is pretty competitive. So hopefully high hopes for that one. But usually it's the same thing, just kind of pop in during practice and start getting my laps from there and see how it goes, kind of like here.
Being Tyler's home track, I guess you'd call it. I know he's got quite the love affair and will be putting in some laps, so maybe you'll have a little bit of a challenge up front there.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, if it's a home track and he's had a lot of experience there, he should put up a good fight. But I do like, especially with my old teammates, I do kind of like going to their home tracks and snuffing the joy out of those races for them. It's good fun.
See,
but no, yeah, if it's a good fight, then I'm all for it.
I tried that with Tyler and wound up losing in the last couple laps from overdriving. So,
you got your life snuffed out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, congratulations on the first. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 238 machine?
Oh, just you guys put on a good show and keep us coming back for it. Even though seems like a couple people don't have it come back, but the racing is still good, the quality is still good, the stream's still good. So it's still a good show, and it's still worth the time and effort you guys put into it. It's well worth it for the stream and well worth for rewatching it. So we're really happy that you guys put this on for us and make it a good show for all of us.
Well, again, congratulations, and hopefully we will catch you next week.
Sure, yeah.
All right. That was your winner, Tyler. I'm sorry, not Tyler, James Pierce. Let's pull up the results here. And do I have to be live? Yep. Come on. Results. There we go. Took a second, SDK. So, for your LMP2 here, we have James Pierce taking the win, Parks Dela Cruz in second, Tyler Kakeko rounding out your top three there, Paulo Casca in fourth, Tyler Bramble in fifth, Thaddeus Marshall in sixth. And then, let's see if you're going to play nice. There we go. Our GT3 results here. Nick Nickerson taking home the win, Mason Smith in second, Kelly Pointer rounding out your top three there, and then Dave Tilford in fourth, Craig Potter in fifth, Abiva Suvasam in sixth, James Molyneux in seventh, Tim Thompson in eighth, John Crane in ninth, and Tim Ponzi Unfortunately, 2nd to 10th, it has to hurt, but we will catch y'all next week.